For better or worse, my presentation will be painting with a broader brush than most of you guys have been doing, offering reflections on ancient and modern populists and democracy that I hope at least proves thought-provoking or entertaining, either one. Unlike the politician I invoke in my title, I am willing to admit the possibility that I sometimes might be wrong. So, in a public forum in 2016, several months before the American presidential election, in which Donald Trump unexpectedly prevailed, I argued that Trump resembled a classic demagogue dressed up in modern clothes. Trump, on the other hand, was anything but boring and traditional. He was a performer and a self-promoter first, a politician distant second, and a major norm breaker on the American political scene. His parallels with the ancient Athenian demagogue Cleon struck me at the time. Indeed, the Trump presidency, even more than the Trump candidacy, reminded me of the Cleon who so outraged Thucydides and other respectable Athenians of the time. We know quite a bit about Cleon, even if via sources biased against him. And the many similarities, and even more, the differences between him and Trump, will help me illuminate some general issues of populism in ancient and modern democratic government. Arguably, the most striking commonality is the harshness, the meanness of their words and policies. I've already referenced Trump's many venomous attacks through Twitter and in speeches at his rallies. His vitriol well matches Cleon's vituperative and self-promoting attacks on opposing politicians of his day. Apparently, for tough guy Trump, cruel and unusual sounds just right. To this point, we've been considering parallel behaviors of demagogues Cleon and Trump. Let's pause to consider the other side of the coin, reactions they have engendered. Here too, the parallels mark them as populist analogs. Both have inspired intensely loyal support from the common people in their respective political bodies, and have done so not only because of populist policies, but due to their lowbrow, unconventional speaking styles. He behaves on stage unlike any president ever has. And for whatever reason, a certain slice of the country can't get enough of him. And just as Trump and Cleon do and did well with common people, both have attracted the sneers of elites. Trump, I hope I have shown, is, mutatis mutandis, following Cleon's playbook in many respects. But there are also differences. Imagine for a moment what a Cleon at the helm of America's vast military machine could do. None of the modern institutions that create filters and buffers between populist leaders and the people do anything to stop a US commander-in-chief from making use of the US military, as long as he can pretend some kind of emergency exists. What would you like to do to distract attention from that and rally the country around you, start a war? It's classic. And I know it's classic, not just because it's classic, but Trump tells me it's classic. Because Trump was accusing Obama of being about to do that. And so Trump knows this trick. He absolutely knows this trick, and he knows that it works. And what happens after he had the golden opportunity to escalate the war with Iran? Totally backs up. I don't know, my optimism is a very guarded one. And I was actually more optimistic about a year ago about Trump's prospects. I thought that given the polls where they were, it was really unlikely Trump was going to win re-election. But in the last year, I've gotten more worried